Hello, let's get to know each other. My name is Aliya. I am 55 years old and I live in Astana, the capital of Kazakhstan. I came to my beloved city of Almaty, where I studied at a university, worked and lived for many years. The surroundings of Almaty are very picturesque. I decided to visit places I had never been before. It is best to start visiting Kazakhstan from Almaty and the Almaty region. I chose the most budget trip from a local official tour operator. A one-day group tour, Black Canyon, Kindy Lake, Kolsai Lake, 300 kilometers from Almaty. The one-way trip takes about 4 to 5 hours. There are 40 to 50 people in the group. This autumn tour in November 2023 cost me a discount of $22 or 9,900 Kazakhstani tenges. Currently, a similar tour costs about $25 to $30. The tour operator sent me the exact address of the gathering place, departure time and tour program in advance. The gathering place was near the State Circus in the city center. I ordered a Yandex taxi. The average amount of the trip is $5 to $10, depending on the distance. We left by bus at 6:30 a.m. Although it is worth warning guests of the country that the departure may be delayed up to 30 minutes. The national mentality affects, but I know that modern Kazakhs are working hard on this quality and don't want to lag behind the trends of business and time management. Since we left the city early in the morning, it was still dark and everyone was asleep. As dawn began to break, dark hills and mountains appeared along the road. They showed the majesty and mystery of this area. An autumn day in Almaty can be very warm, but the morning is cool. Therefore, it is necessary to dress warmly. I recommend checking the weather forecast. I didn't check the weather, but the experience helped me. I put on non-slip boots and a jacket. In case the weather warms up and it gets hot, I took light sneakers and a sweatshirt. After passing the beautiful Kopek mountain pass, we stopped at a roadside cafe. The journey to the first sanitary stop took about 2 to 2.5 hours. It is a sparsely populated and very windy area located in a gorge. But the cafe with fresh pastries, hot coffee and tea cheered us up. The price of the tour I chose included a comfortable bus, guide services, entrance fees to national parks, environmental fees, travel to Kindy by UAZ, outdated off-road models, entertainment games. It was fun on the way. Before arriving at the location, the guides managed to tell information about the sites joked a lot, and organized games. Guests from India and Algeria traveled with us in the group. The guides translated the information into English. On the way, I admired the endless steppes. In the distance in the haze, I could see the outlines of the majestic mountains of the Ile Alatau and grazing herds of domestic animals. We drove through a stretch of red-yellow steppe with no trees and almost no vegetation, called the Red Spot. According to legend, in those parts where a lot of the blood of our ancestors was shed in the battles with the Dzingars, the earth has shrunk and nothing grows on it. The Black Canyon has a unique dark surface color and is part of the Tarim or Sharim Canyon, which is more than 12 million years old. The black color of the rocks is caused by the presence of metal in the stones, which rusts, oxidizes, and turns black. The Tarim River flows along the bottom of the Black Canyon, and a rare soaked in ash, a local endemic, grows along its bed. It appeared on Earth about 25 million years ago and survived the Ice Age. These trees grow only here and in America. The canyon is composed of sedimentary rocks with various interesting weathered figures that are similar to castles and stone giants. The most comfortable months to visit the canyons are April, May, June, September, October. The average air temperature in spring is +15, +20 degrees Celsius. In summer, from the second half of June to the end of August, it's very hot here. The average air temperature in the shade is about +35, +38 degrees. There is a high probability of heat or sunstroke. The plants burn out and the river shallows. We had 20 minutes for a walk near the Black Canyon. Then we went to the beautiful Candy Lake with sunken century-old Tien Shan spruce trees, Schrenk's spruce. Guided by the principle of other people's fields are greener, we sometimes rush around the world and don't notice our native natural pearls. I would like to note that not all Kazakhstanis have set foot in the natural and beautiful places of their large country. In terms of land area, Kazakhstan ranks 9th in the world. The bus reached Sati village in about an hour. This is the closest settlement to Kaindi Lake. Off-road begins from Sati village to the lake. We switched to outdated Soviet models of buses and UAZ, public transport that can withstand mountain off-road conditions. It's very practical and cheap to repair. In the vehicle, we were given a whole musical show and taken to the nearest parking lot to Kaindi Lake, 12 kilometers, accompanied by cheerful groovy songs. Conservationists consider it necessary to preserve this natural wonder and oppose modern infrastructure that can destroy the flow of small mountain rivers and the natural landscape. Government agencies believe it is necessary to build roads and power lines, but they shouldn't extend directly to the lake. In addition, it is planned to build a dam to preserve Kaindi Lake. Logistics will be reviewed so that all vehicles with internal combustion engines remain in Sati village, and electric and gas-powered cars will be launched along popular routes. We saw snow covering the beautiful mountain peaks and trees like white caps. However, the warm rays of the sun began to melt the snow, forming mud and slush underfoot. This is the nature from which the inhabitants of the cities have become unaccustomed. Instructors with horses are always waiting for tourists here. To get to the lake with its charming sunken forest, you need to make another ascent into the mountains, 2 kilometers. Many of us planned to take a special taxi to the lake, but the snow turned the road into mud. Such is the changeable weather in the mountains. We had a choice: walk to the lake through the slush or get on a horse. I chose the second one. To be honest, it was the second time in my life that I consciously mounted a horse, and many tourists did not have great experience as a horseback rider. Ultimately, I was glad that I experienced new emotions. Here I'm riding a horse and trying to make a video. On the way, we joke that the nomad's blood will make itself felt and help to cope with the situation. If you're afraid and have no experience, then it is better not to get on a horse. The horse feels it and reacts. I think you can request a personal instructor for an additional fee. As far as I understand, a group of riders is accompanied by one instructor. The beautiful landscape of this mountainous area is fascinating. Slender spruce trees growing everywhere on the mountain slopes capture the eye. We reached the last parking lot, got off our horses, and walked along the snowy paths to the lake. Kaindi is located at an altitude of 1,867 meters above sea level and was formed in 1911 as a result of a strong earthquake. The gorge with coniferous trees was blocked by a landslide as a result of a rock collapse and then filled with the waters of springs and a mountain river. The very cold water preserved the trunks branches, and even the needles of the trees. They are visible through the transparent turquoise surface of the water, and the dried tops of the spruce trees proudly rise above the surface of the lake, giving it a special charm. We were amazed by the unique beauty of the lake. The dry trunks of spruce trees rise above the turquoise surface of the water, giving this place a mystery and resembling the masts of sunken ships. Returning to Sata village, we had lunch at a cafe. We boarded our bus and drove along a flat asphalt road to the lower Kolsai Lake. The good infrastructure to this lake attracts many tourists. Here you can go boating, catamaran, choose a horse ride on the mountain slopes. We were greeted by charming mountains covered with rare Tian Shan spruce trees, Schrenk's spruce. Kholsai Lakes are 3 beautiful mountain lakes located in a cascade at altitudes of 1800, 2250 and 2700 meters above sea level. They are called Kazakh Switzerland or the Blue Pearl of the Tian Shan. It is worth noting that the lower Kholsai Lake has lost its authenticity because more and more people come here who want to see these beautiful places. In summer, there is, as they say, no room to swing a cat. In late autumn and winter, there are much fewer visitors here. The lake constantly changes its color from bright green to blue. The middle and upper lakes can only be reached on foot or on horseback. There are hiking and horseback expeditions for several days with overnight stays in tents to the middle and upper Kholsai Lakes where transport cannot pass. The middle Kholsai Lake differs from the lower Kholsai Lake in its untouched nature and the absence of many signs of civilization. An ideal for lovers of secluded nature. Tourists are not always allowed to enter the upper Kholsai Lake, which is located in the border zone. I chose catamaran riding and got an extraordinary experience of contemplating the mountains from the very center of the lake. In autumn, everything is covered with red and golden crimson. Slender spruce trees descend to the water's edge. And in summer, green meadows with lush motley grasses bloom here in the area.